Hi guys, it's Steve and I'm back with another video tutorial. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you an example of an existing website created with just CSS and HTML, and then we're going to convert it or refactor it to use Sass. So let's get started with installing Sass. If you haven't done this already, here are the instructions at sass-lang.com/install. And as you can see here, I'm in a Windows environment, so I'll walk you through it really quickly in case you've already done this. And of course on Mac, here are the instructions as well. So if you're on Windows, you'll have to go to Ruby Installer, which I already have open in this tab, so I'll go there. And notice it says don't use Ruby 2.5.0, so go ahead and install version 2.4.3-1. Once you're done with that, go ahead and open up a command prompt and type in ruby-v, and it will tell you that you already have Ruby installed. So next up, whoops, that was this is the page that we're going to build, or actually is built with CSS, but we're going to convert it to Sass and have it look the same. But that's jumping ahead. Let's go back. So once you have Ruby installer installed in the Windows environment, now you open up a terminal in Mac or a command prompt in Windows and you type in the following commands: gem install Sass, and you may have to put a sudo in front of it if you're on Mac. Then you do a sass-v to make sure Sass is installed in the command prompt. So you just do that, and it says we have it installed. So that's good. So now we can begin. Let me open up the project in Sublime. How about I split the windows? Okay. So here we have the HTML for the site, which looks like this. I'm calling the site Food Melt, and it's just a page I put up. It has food on it. And let's see what we got here. So just regular HTML, and over here we have a CSS file. And you can see that I referenced the CSS file there. So now for this tutorial, we're going to refactor it to use Sass. So let's begin. Okay, so let me just give you a quick rundown of the folder structure. So this is the root folder, and inside it we have a CSS folder, which main.css resides in. Then we have images folder, which I've preloaded with some images. And then this is actually old. Let me remove this. Don't need it anymore. Don't want to confuse you guys. And then we have a SCSS folder. So here's where we'll be putting the Sass file, which, as you can see here, I've already started. So there's the Sass file. And as you can see here, to begin with, it looks just like CSS. So let me do this. Let me delete main.css and refresh the page to show you. See, there's no styles. All the styles, the regular CSS styles, are in main.scss. And so we're going to have it compile and create a main.css for us. Actually, let me delete this map file. Okay, so let's do that now. So you would open up your command prompt or terminal and type in sass --watch the path of the Sass file. So in this case, it is css main.scss : and then the path to the output CSS file, which in this case will be css/main.css. Hit enter. So this is watching for changes, and it'll be running in the background. So you only have to do this once, and every time you make a change to your Sass file, it will generate the CSS file as you see right here. So now that the CSS file is generated, if I reload the page over here, you'll see that the styles are applied again. So let's take a look at that Sass file. Okay, how about we figure out what Sass variables we can create from here. So let's take a look at the CSS file. Sorry, this SCSS file, and see what kind of variables we can pluck out of it. Let's see, how about let's start with some colors. So let's grab this. And call it gray. So to create a variable in Sass, you would prefix it with a $sign. And actually, let's do this. It's called color gray. Change right here. And this is color gray. So you'll notice a couple things here. The minute I hit save, you'll see this the terminal compiled the SAS to CSS file. And now when I reload the page, you'll see the change. Actually, you'll see nothing. You should see nothing change. And the background color of the header is still dark gray. So let's go ahead and try. Let's check the CSS file real quick to make sure this is still true. So header is still gray, which is hex code 333. Great. So go back to here, and how about let's pull out the color for. Here's another gray. I'm gonna do that. Color gray, and then the footer, which looks like a kind of a yellowish orange. Not quite sure what to call this color, but let's call it color orange for now. Maybe because I'm looking at food, I want to call it colored cheese. Color orange. And what other colors do we have? How about this? This is almost like a red color. Let's just call it red. So you can see the pattern here that I'm just prefixing the variable names with a $sign. And then assigning the value on the right-hand side after the colons. Any more colors? I guess this is white. Sure, why not? By the way, I'll have all this code in a GitHub, which I'll link at the bottom in the description, so you can download this to take a look at it later or follow along. Whoops. Color white. And I have a feeling we have one more. Oh, there it is. So the links will be color green. Hit save and check that. Usually it'll spit out an error on the page when you reload or in the compiler. But everything looks good, so let's reload the page and it should all still look the same. Great, let's check out the next thing, which is how about nesting. So a concept in SAS that you can do that you can't do in CSS is let me show you here. How about this? Let's do it here. So to get this effect, where we have a nested child selector inside a parent in SAS, what we can do is write it like this. So same thing would be card braces img braces then width 100%. Now I can get rid of this, save, and it's compiled, reload, and it's still the same. So let's see what else we could do this for. Links. This is a good one. So actually, let me just rewrite it so you can kind of see a comparison of before and after, right? So links, brace, li, and I'll just copy this for sake of speed and time. And let's do the same. Oh, let's delete this real quick. And then we'll do the same for here. Since you kind of get the hang of it, why don't we just make the change directly. doesn't look nice to me, but it's okay for now. Hit save, hit refresh. Everything looks the same. So let's take a look at the links, nested links here that are generated from regular CSS. So we'll jump over here, and as you can see, the compiled version of the CSS automatically creates the selectors for you that are nested. But in your CSS, in your SAS, you don't have to worry about that as you just make changes here. Actually, we could even refactor this even further, right? So what we'll do is we'll just move the link in here, delete this right here, and hit save. Refresh the page, nothing's changed. Go look at the CSS, and as you can see, it created the selector for the LI and the selector for the link inside the LI, but we only did it in one nested SAS style. And that is pretty much it for variables and nesting in SAS. Let's check out the next topic. So, okay, next up I want to talk about mixins. So before that, I see right here we have another chance here to refactor these links so we can have them be grouped and organized. So we'll nest those styles in there. And so now whenever you need to make changes to these links, you know that you can just reference this one nested style and make the changes in here. Okay, so now let's jump over to mixins. Mixins are chunks of styles that you can reuse over and over throughout your site. It's supposed to help you save time and prevent you from having to rewrite the same styles over and over. So let's see, a good example, let's do border radius. As you can see here, we have border radius with vendor prefixes applied for the caption with 4 pixel rounded corners. And we have the same thing applied to these cards down below. So to create a mixin, you would first, let me just make a comment here. Okay, so to create a mixin, it's a little different. With the variable on top, you create a variable name by prefixing it with a $sign, then variable name. With mixins, you would prefix it with a @, then mixin, the word mixin, space, and then the name of the mixin. In this case, it's border radius. The syntax looks like that. And then you can copy the styles you want. So we'll grab all those, and paste it in here, save. We'll refresh the page, and you'll notice since we have the mixin, we're not using it. We removed the rounded corners from the caption, and therefore they're sharp. It's a sharp box without rounded corners now around the caption. So we'll go ahead and use the mixin. But before we do that, here's another cool feature with mixins is we may be using this border radius in different areas of the page, and we may want different size borders. So mixins can have multiple variables. In this case, we're going to have just one, and we'll just call it radius. And if you guessed it, all you do is replace the hard-coded values with radius. And that's it. So now if we want to use this mixin, which we'll use it on the caption here, you would have to use @ include is the keyword, space, and then the name of the mixin, which is border radius, and we want to pass it a value. So how about let's just do 6 pixels. Save. Everything compiled. Refresh the page. We should see these sharp corners change to rounded, and we do. Perfect. So now you can see how convenient this is, right? So everywhere we want rounded corners, like for example, the cards now down below, we would just copy this and replace all those lines with just one. And let's say you wanted these to be 12. Let's see what that looks like. It might look kind of funny. Yeah, that looks bad, especially with the images. Let's actually try to fix this. So I'll do 6 pixels around that, and then you'll see that the images has to stick out. Also, you'll notice we can take advantage of nesting here. So let's go ahead and copy this image, cut this image. Oops, and paste it here. Save. So we can also include the border radius on the image. And there you go. It rounded everything. You can change the CSS up there to round just the top left and top right if you want, but we won't do that for this tutorial. But you kind of get the idea. So how to use mixins and nesting again. Actually, we can nest even more real quick. Might as well. So card is a child of cards. So we can go ahead and represent that in our SAS. Okay, and that looks good. And that is how you use mixins. All right, another cool feature of SAS are partial SAS files and importing them into your SAS style sheet. So the benefit of this is, let's say you're working on a big project with many developers, and you don't want to be all changing the same main.sas file, right? So you would break these up into smaller chunks of manageable SAS. So let's go ahead and do an example of this. So in this SCSS folder, I'll create a partial file. We'll call it, so partials you have to prefix with an underscore. So we'll call this, how about base.scss. So we'll put some base styles in there. And then how about we'll create, let me see, a header. How about, yeah, we'll do a header partial as another example. So create a file, underscore header.scss. Okay, great. Let's go pull out some code, some SAS styles. For the base, we'll just grab. We'll just do this. We'll just grab. Yeah, we'll grab that. So to give you an idea, when I remove this and compile, you'll see that there's some padding around the hero image, background image. So we'll go ahead and add that to the base. Hit save. And nothing will get applied, of course, because we need to import it in. So to do that, just call this imports. You would use @import as the keyword, space, and then you would use a quote and the name of the file without the underscore or the SCSS extension. So in this case, you would just type base. I'll hit save, refresh, and there you go. The base styles are applied. So you see let's take a look at the generated CSS file and see that it has included this body and HTML margin padding 0. There it is up there. Let's do this again with header, just so you can get the hang of it. For header, we'll grab, I guess we'll grab the logo too. Let me move this. Just gonna move this up above the main. Okay, we'll copy all this. I keep saying copy, I mean cut. So save. I'll refresh the browser to show you that some of the styling is gone from the header. And I'll head over to the header file, paste it in there, hit save, and of course nothing will show up yet until we import it. So let's go ahead and import header. So you can see the pattern here, right? You omit the underscore prefix and the .scss extension. So because it's a partial, SAS knows just to look for the file name. Hit save, and the header styles are back. And that's how you use imports and partials in SAS. And this is pretty much a basic rundown of SAS, and it's a great place to start. You can start refactoring small areas of your site. As you saw here, you can use regular CSS in here, so you can literally copy your CSS file into a SAS file and just slowly start refactoring it. If you have any questions or comments, or if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, once again, if you have any comments or questions, please ask them below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.